Everybody's here, it's all wet. Okay. Today is Wednesday, August the 19th, 2026. First on the line is, I need approval for the board minutes of August the 5th.
I'll make a motion to approve the board minutes.
Thank you.
Second.
Second. Do we have any discussion about those board minutes? Needs everybody's approval? Okay. Take a vote. Raise your hand, please. Unanimous. Second of all, approve the payments of claims in accordance with the Indiana State Board of Accounts Code 5-11-10-1.60.
I'll make a motion to make
Pay the claims. Okay, thank you.
Second it.
Thank you. Discussion, please. Okay. Take a vote. Unanimous. The next regular meeting will be held on Wednesday, September the 2nd. Oh God, September already. September the 2nd, 2026, 4 p.m. this room. Public comment. Do we have any public? We certainly do.
Don't believe they're here to make comment.
No, but you can't
Comments?
order engineers.
Okay. When are we
No
gonna
comments at this time.
When are we going to hear from them?
Don't know. Whenever they want.
Oh. Oh, well, you're on top. Okay, old business. Do we have any old business? That would be me, but I don't have anything to say. Okay. 6, new business. 6A. Approve Peru Municipal Water Utility SRF Disbursement Request number 6.
I'll make a motion to accept attachment 6A.
Second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion, please. Okay. Any comments on this? All right. Where's a lot of money? It's only 16,000. Really? Okay. This is 6A. 6A. Okay. Discussion negative. Okay, let's vote. Unanimous. B. 6B. Approve the Peru Municipal Water Utility SRF Disbursement Request number 25.
Make a motion to approve request 25.
Second the motion.
Thank you, thank you. Discussion, please. Okay. All right, let's vote. Unanimous. 6C. Approve the Peru Municipal Water Sewage Works SRF Disbursement Request number 87.
Make a motion to approve request number 87, attachment 6D.
It's actually number 26.
What was I reading?
Hold on.
You were reading D. It's
Oh,
actually C.
okay, yeah. I was gonna say, I'm just went along with you, so I will amend my motion and remake my motion to approve SRF disbursement request number 26, attachment 6C.
Okay.
I'll second it.
First, second, discussion, please. No discussion, let's vote. Unanimous. 6D. Approve Peru Municipal Sewage Works SRF Disbursement number 87.
I'll make a motion to approve attachment 6D.
Thank you,
Second the motion.
thank you. Discussion?
That's a little bit of money.
Yeah, it's on me. I got little chicken scratches all over mine. I had to prove them right. Okay. Discussion on this?
No.
Oh, well, I'm spinning it like we're shopping. Okay. Vote, please. Unanimous. 6E. SRF distribution, no, previous other word. Approve Peru Municipal Sewage Works SRF disbursement request number 88.
Attachment 6E. I'll make a motion to attachment 6E.
Thank you.
Second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion. All right. No discussion? Let's take a vote. Unanimous. 6F. Approved fourth quarter 2026 electric tracker adjustment.
Make a motion to approve the fourth quarter tracker adjustment.
Second.
Okay, so the fourth quarter tracker, as you stated, for 1,000 kilowatts on the residential side, it's an increase of about 90 cents. Again, this is electric pass-through energy. And because there was some question on how I figured the rates, I just wanted to show you, the IURC puts out every year, this is through last year through July 1st of this year, what the rates are, and they compare them to IOUs, and they bring the IOUs out, and so these are all IURC figures, not mine. So these are all their trackers, so they add in all the trackers into this. AES has this many trackers, CenterPoint has this many tracker factor adjustments, Duke has this many, Indiana Michigan Power and NIPSCO has all of these, and this is their data. I just put it into a chart. So this is per utilities as of the end of June. This is our rate, and this is our tracker in the green as part of that rate. NIPSCO, Indiana Michigan Power, Duke, CenterPoint, and AES. Duke just had a rate increase at that point, so their tracker they had backed their tracker back. We're 3 years into a rate case, and our tracker is at this point was $1.22. That's our variable rate that our customer pays for the energy pass. Indiana Michigan Power is 29, AES is 29, CenterPoint's 13. Now when you do a rate case, those things shrink back to zero because you add that into what your base rate is. So these are IURC figures. These are not my figures. And so here's the comparables to the current tracker. The 90 cents increase. And those rates didn't have the customer charge in them. Those were just the tracker and their base rates for the IURC. So if you look, this is just the pure cost per kilowatt. And then what the facilities charge is, the customer charge is, total charge for 1,000 when our basic residential, not in the heat of summer or the dead of winter, basic charge is around 1,000 for usage. We're at 13.28 cents. 36% below Duke, almost 13% below Heartland, 30% below Miami Cass, 66% below NIPSCO, and 23.5% below AES. So again, and our tracking factor is in that dollar range. And if you compare our rate right now currently to what it was in December of 2024, we are still, now it's not much, 0.3% less or 40 cents less than we were 2 years ago in the fourth quarter. So the power of municipal public power. Public power is cheaper than IOUs. We don't have bondholders, shareholders. We don't have to keep our stock high. We don't have to do any of that. All we have to do is serve the customer and pay our employees. So anyway, so that's your tracker. And I ask for your approval to go in front of the city council at the next meeting.
Okay. Shall we have a vote? What?
We just had a rate decrease here,
The last tracker, I believe,
Last
was a
quarter.
decrease, yeah.
Yeah, it was a decrease.
now we're gonna raise.
What the energy costs, the pass-through costs dictate it.
Well, can I ask you a question? Where does it show me on here exactly? Where do I get my? What should I be looking at to do a multiplier? See, like on electric.
Are you looking about, to see what your charge per kilowatt hour is?
Yes.
So it should be listed on that portion. If it's not, then it's on the other portion as a multiplier.
Good carry.
So it looks like your bill's already
We'll talk
removed.
about that after the meeting. We'll walk through the bill for you.
Okay.
Let you know where your
Okay,
multipliers.
all right, thank you. Let's see, where were we?
Vote time.
Vote on item F.
Okay, motion, discussion. Are we finished discussing this?
Yes.
Okay. Vote. Unanimous. Thank you. 6G, approve the third quarter uncollectible, oh, Richard's favorite thing. Uncollectible accounts 2026, attachment 6G.
Make a motion to approve the uncollectible accounts.
I'll second the motion.
Get used to it.
We,
So the uncollectible accounts this quarter are for January to March 26. We're a little bit down in Grissom, up a little bit from Peru. Indiana's average is 5%. We are at 0.9%, so well below our average of what our write-offs are. Ask for your approval for uncollectible accounts.
Okay.
question.
Okay, question, yeah?
Yeah, I'd like to know, is this the same address majority of the time that doesn't pay their bill?
Different customers,
Different customers?
different addresses, same customer, different addresses possibly. Typically, when a customer comes in that has defaulted, so to speak, we don't allow them to sign up for service until they've paid, even if we've written them off, until they pay what they owe the utility, what they owe the other ratepayers, essentially.
Well, I notice on this, we never see where any of the money that comes back in from people that's paid what they owe. All I see is what goes out.
Well, it shows a 24 and 25, the recoveries is, it gives you a percentage, but we don't have the, we don't do the dollar amount.
Well, we used to print the names, we don't do that anymore. Good. Be good stewards. So. So we voted on that? Yes.
Nope.
No,
No?
You need to vote on it. That was discussion.
Okay. We need a vote then. Unanimous. Okay, approve the third quarter uncollectible accounts 2026. 6G, well, we just did that.
We're on the H,
Yeah.
Moving to the next
on the back page.
There we go. Thank you. Approve the quotes for Siemens, no, that's not right.
That is correct.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
correct.
H? Is that why these two handsome wet fellows are here?
Nope, this is Mike.
Nope. Okay. Approve quotes for Siemens CMR closures, attachment 6H.
I'll make a motion to accept 6H.
Second motion.
Mike, you wanna talk about it?
Yes, we'll have discussion.
As Catherine stated in here, these are the recloses we're looking to get. We're gonna replace some of the old hydraulic ones we've got out on the system and get something a little more robust. It's gonna give us a little bit more versatility. You had approved the purchase for these already, but in between us soliciting our bids and final board approval coming through, there was a price change on there from the company. So we thought it was best to rebid the whole project, so that you're just seeing the rebid on this. And it's the same company I'm recommending the same company again, but we thought it best to rebid after the price alteration.
But we've dealt with them before?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Oh, great. Good. Good to hear. Anybody else have anything to say about this? Okay. I guess we're gonna vote. favor, and it's unanimous. Thank you. Long-term control plan. Mighty leader.
Don't have a whole lot to report. Still working on material procurement and just working out the finer details of the large storage system. You know, and then getting a start date from them. Sounds like it's going to get pushed off a little bit just to try to get through maybe the winter or whatever, but we don't have a final date on that. As far as the wastewater plant itself, we've got both trains in service, and it got put to the test last week, right now. So I'll let Jamie kind of talk about that and where we are on that.
So we had the two sets of 4 tanks in our aeration chambers. During the construction, half of them were shut off while the entire plant was running through one half of the plant. And then that side got cleaned out, the aerators and different pieces of equipment that are down in the tanks got refurbished or replaced, the rotors got replaced. And then we switched and did the second half of the plant, and we had just put it back in service the end of the week before when you know, Noah decided that things needed to happen. And so we turned both trains are running, all the tanks are running, all 4 clarifiers are going, and plant took everything we could send to it. We didn't violate, and we're somewhere around 10 inches of rain. I'm not exactly sure.
Wow.
Unofficially around 10. I've got rain gauges out that we download monthly, so I can't see those. I'm sure the total's going to be higher.
So all the work that's been done, all the $30 million at this point in that project is so far been worth it. And well, I mean, we don't even have substantial completion yet. Should be soon, but it took everything that the system would throw at it, which is good. It probably helps that you know, we got it cleaned out really well, and it has more capacity now, and we've got an extra clarifier. And you know, typically, especially with that amount of rain, every system violates.
Yeah,
It's just the way Grissom violated. I mean, it's just the way it is. And you just file and, you know, items, totally understanding when you get 10, 11 inches of rain, right? So
Yeah,
just about every system in the
So-
state probably
So we
violated.
had 1 E. coli that was above the limit out at Grissom, but we're allowed to fail 10% of the time. So even that one's gonna be fine. But in Peru, our limit's 235 and all our E. colis were single digits. So way under the rate.
So that's a good sign, a good test for when we have a million gallons of sitting in the system out there, and we have to pump it and process it within that a lot of time required. So
How many year rain event would that have been considered like?
We're at least a 50, probably closer to 100. I just don't have the intensity
I
numbers
think
yet.
initially that first deluge was a 25 event, wasn't it? Because it was in that 4 or 5 inch rain. I think I talked to Nick about it. It's the only reason I know it. I wouldn't know it off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
because I asked Nick the same thing. Are we at 1,000-year event at this point? Because this is crazy. And Nick went in and looked it up, and I think that first one was 25-year storm. I think it was.
Wow.
So add the rest of it too.
I got 8 inches of rain. End of gauge 8.75 out of the house.
So those are all good things. Means what's so far so good with the project. Anything else you can think of?
Oh, we had our inspection. That's that.
That's for lead service line.
Yeah, never mind.
We'll talk about the manager's report.
Is that it for long term?
That's all I have.
All righty. City Administration, Mr. Stevenson. Welcome back. Oh, but you don't have anything for us.
Yeah.
Well, I see where Jimmy John's is cleared off. Well, it's now, no, I said that wrong. They're clearing off the property to build Jimmy John's.
Right.
Yeah, okay, all right. Thank you. City Attorney, Mr. Kern.
I heard from Mike Walsh yesterday, or it might have been Monday, regarding the appraiser appraisal that we've requested for the overpass easement area. He said that that had been received by the person. He was following up with the gentleman who owns US Vest Corp or whatever, the railroad corp. So we had let him know that we'd be getting it appraised. That way we have those specific numbers as to what our encroachment or the easement would actually cost. So you look puzzled.
Yeah, I do. I just, you know,
Same thing.
I thought, you know,
Oh, he came back around, and I thought I'd let you guys know.
You said we probably ought to get an appraisal on that, that's kind of where we're at.
okay.
And that appraisal was forwarded to the gentleman with the current
It hasn't.
owner.
We haven't gotten that appraisal back yet.
Okay.
And we will review it first before we hand it over. But when he requests 40,000 at first, and then came down. I can't remember what the second offer was, but when we offer him $1,000 for it based on what the appraised value is for
This is just for an
Foot.
easement,
Yeah,
just for an
an
easement.
easement
Yeah,
or
the easement.
purchase, whatever it may ultimately be. It'd be a utility easement actually because he deeded the actual ground to the Nickel Plate Trail. But in his deed to the Nickel Plate Trail, they retained all utility rights, utility easement rights, and aerial rights.
So if anybody gets hurt on the Nickel Plate Trail, they get to fall back on the city of Peru?
No,
Nickel plate.
You're strict, okay,
yeah.
that's good.
That, and I don't know if the board's aware, but utility should be aware, obviously, the city and the utilities going through audits for 2025 fiscal year. In doing so, the State Board of Accounts has indicated to us that they want the utilities, salary, and wages on the same wage ordinance as the cities. So, as you guys are aware, the utilities board sets that wages and everything. So, next month, we'll need to do like a resolution for the wages because wage ordinance has to be passed before October 31st. Our city council's meeting is October 5th. So when the city council approves the city's wage ordinance, it'll have to include the utilities wages.
When
as
did that
well.
change?
That has been in place. I don't know, they asked for clarification. I'll talk to you about it.
That's the email I received.
because that's the-
SBOA,
That's the first.
State Board of Accounts.
You received an email?
So I did.
I think that was the fraud one that goes out randomly
Oh.
to people, because I saw one of those surveys too, but it wasn't to do with payroll or any adjustment there.
So it's never been questioned in 20-something years, and now all of a sudden it's being questioned.
So do we have to, because none of us take a raise on this board. We don't,
It's not,
It's not about
it's not the
the employees.
appointed,
not the
it's
utility workers.
the employees of utilities.
oh, we are
Which
utility
we don't have, we
employees.
don't have next year wages set.
Okay. Well, that's all right then.
What's the deadline they're asking for?
Goes
Yeah.
directly to the
So
ratepayers. They have
the
to.
council could always essentially do a special meeting in October, but it has to be passed. The wage ordinance and the budget have to be passed by October 31st.
For the city.
Yes,
We don't pass our budget until December.
but the wage ordinance aspect of it.
Okay,
Nothing else.
thank you. And now it's our manager's report.
We are in the middle of lead and copper testing, as required by state statute. Running into a few, we haven't got any results back, but because we're shaking up the system, so to speak, and we're doing areas with the lead service line replacement, still trying to get some people to, some other people to do that for us in their homes. So that's ongoing. Like I said, we haven't got anything back. We don't expect it to be anything. If they do the test right, we don't believe we have an issue, so.
Excuse me, but do these people that refuse to let us come in to do the testing, are they aware that it's got to be done and they're gonna have to foot the bill?
Well, you're talking two totally different things here.
I am?
Well, the lead testing is voluntary, but we are required to do a certain amount of lead testing in the system based on how many meters we have, right?
Okay,
So that's voluntary. So we ask people if they want to do it, and we don't go in and do that testing because that would be self-serving if we did the testing, because we could,
Okay.
there are entities out there that may, well, that was fine,
yeah,
So they have to do it, follow directions, and do it the correct way. The right of entry forms, we're talking about lead service line replacement. Yes, we do have to get into that, into their basement or whatever. But that's two different things.
Regular testing, you guys do it yearly, correct? Or
Triennially.
triannually, okay. Yeah, Mary, if you remember, there was the one, we failed the test one time because someone who volunteered to do it had new replacement fixtures in their house, and it showed that they had lead, at least that one time.
They're not supposed to have, so the rules are, obviously you're not supposed to have replaced your piping or your fixtures within, was it 12 months or?
At least 12 months.
At least 12 months. So if you just do that, you're gonna hit the lead testing. You are, because even though they're lead free, they still have lead in the joints, so to speak. But we're working through it again. We haven't had any results yet. We had, speaking of lead service line, we had our SRF site inspection for lead service line phase 1 and phase 1 and the water plant. So they come on site, make sure you got all your paperwork right, make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do, and
She wanted to walk through the water plant. We did that. She inspected the work that had been done there. We went out to the job site, Watson's job site, so west of Fremont Street, and drove up and down several roads. She inspected some of the potholes that have been done, also some of the lines that have been replaced, and looked at the patching that was complete on the asphalt on 7th Street. All the paperwork she asked for, we had. She seemed satisfied.
that's good. Any questions on that?
So the hose on 7th Street's been fixed? Are they assuming that? They've been fixed?
Yeah, 7th is patched.
Yeah.
I think they've done some patches on 5th Street. I don't think 5th is done.
So they're not, Watson's still working lead lines, so they won't leave until they're all patched. Lead service line financing, if you remember, we talked about the SRF came to us and said they had more funding available, but the caveat was we had to spend 75% of the current funding by March or something of next year, March or April, by the time we close. And so I went back and said, unless you're giving us a little leeway here, then we'll have to decline the funding. And they said, no, we're not going to give you leeway this time. So they did on the 10 million that we just got. They allowed us to move forward with it. So, and they said we figured as much, but wanted to offer. We didn't think you could spend it all in that time frame. So, but they're confident there'll be more for next year, and of course we'll go for that next year when we can. That's unfortunate, but to be honest, we can't pile anymore on these guys. We got to get these projects buttoned up before we start tearing more roads up anyway. So, storm recovery. So, let Mike maybe talk a little bit about what his guys went through. I mean, we talked about Jamin and his guys were out forever, clearing storm drains, catch basins, working through outages, making sure the generators come on, and all sorts of issues as well. So they did a good job, but I just wanted to maybe have Mike talk about what they went through a little bit last week, and so far so good today, I guess.
All things considered, I think we fared pretty well last week. think Tuesday night, we were here until maybe 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. That was everyone. And then there's a couple, throughout the week, there's a couple more trees that came down. I think there was one on Country Club, 19 North had one. And then to top the whole week off, Friday, we had an underground failure at Grissom, one of the old lines that we inherited out there. And then when they tried to pull the wire back through the conduit, they found out the conduit, the integrity of it had failed. So that's, that ended up being longer work than any of the storm recovery. But our on-call lineman last week worked 75 hours. He logged in, so almost 2 full-time jobs for him. But it's been a long spring, long summer for linemen, a lot of hours.
Yeah, we budget around 100 hours per lineman, and a little bit more for the apprentices. And we are about 10% over that right now throughout the year. 10% over where we would be this time of year, just because they've just been out. It's been a crazy year.
The big thing that we run into is during storms is always trees. When it rains like it rained, the limbs get heavy, the trees come over when the ground gets soft and they uproot sometimes. So we try to do what we can to keep the lines clear, but when they gather that much weight, they tend to droop down, or they lay over, or come all the way over, and that's what typically breaks poles, and that's what creates the extended outages. But and then sometimes it's just flying debris, but I don't think the storms this week carried too much wind with them. I think it was mostly just tree weight.
And then, you gotta, speaking of trees, just some interesting articles. If you guys remember, Nashville Electric had a real big issue a couple months ago over the winter, where they had 100,000 people out plus, 230,000 people out. In one of the pre-storm audits that they had, one of the warnings was, internal risk assessments warned that insufficient tree maintenance and a lag in routine vegetation clearing risk longer, more frequent power failures. Records indicate millions less were spent on trimming over prior budget cycles, though leadership attributed variances to vendor pricing changes. An official post-storm commission reported explicitly cited weak vegetation management and dated emergency planning as core vulnerabilities. We've just had that discussions now and then about the tree trimming and the fact that millions less were spent on trimming over prior budget cycles, attributed to variances to vendor pricing changes. Pricing changes goes up, you have less cycles, less circuits that you're going to do. And then the kind of the kicker with it is now they're just hacking trees in Nashville, and people are upset about it because we all have short memories. Life's good right now, as terrible as it was over the winter. Life's good right now, and then now they're hacking trees 15 feet back instead of 10 feet back, and people are like, hey, you probably need to not do that. So there's got to be a balance. But anyway, so then the latest, those poor people up on the northwest side of Indiana. A class action lawsuit alleges NIPSCO neglected vegetation management while prioritizing profits and shareholder returns. This was just filed. This is a Chicago Tribune article out of Valparaiso, and the I believe it was an elderly woman had a hip surgery scheduled, and it got, because everybody had power, there was 300 and some thousand people out. So this is, and I think these are ambulance chasers because it was filed really fast, and I think these are the type of attorneys that just try to go and get some sort of compensation settlement. However, the implications of a lawsuit like this are huge on insurance rates, on insurance payouts, for essentially Mother Nature taking out its wrath on people. And I lead to that because we talked about going, and I'm going to give you the data over budget time. We talked about going back to trying to get back to this 10-year cycle because we've had to back off how many circuits that we do. And I believe Mike got a quote for getting us back to that next year. And that was $850,000 just for tree trimming, contracted tree trimming. So
For the year.
for 1 year. For 1 year.
I
How
Now
many
that's-
circuits was that?
It was 40 miles a circuit. So 35 miles is what we need to get on that 10-year cycle, and that extra 5 miles is just stuff that comes up.
Right, so that's for a 10-year cycle, that's what we need done in 1 year.
That's what we need done in 1 year.
$800,000.
$850,000. Okay. So we've and this year we budgeted 350 and the 300,000, 350 I think. But we're not going to meet that because they're not here enough to get it done. They're going to be racing at the end of the year to get the contract done. So we have no extra outside stuff that we usually get done that kind of comes up, and so it was just timely that this lawsuit came up when we've been talking about it for a couple of years, the production versus cost, that curve.
Josh, will your estimates when we put these together at budget time, the proposal to move this internal, will that include the 10-year cycle?
Mhm.
We'll look at, okay.
Right. Well, yes, because we'll have the equipment, and then we'll estimate the amount of people and the costs. So we're waiting on lead times on equipment right now. It's not something will be a full year next year because equipment's going to take a while. Plus, we're going to train and add individuals later in the year. That's our plan. But again, we'll have the budgetary number for you. But this is exactly what the continuation of this cycle that we have leads to, in any maintenance situation, in anything that we do. We put off a year, then we put off 2 years, then we put off 3 years, and then it breaks, and then it costs 3 times as much in the life of the piece of equipment or whatever is diminished severely. So. Anyway, just thought that was a good article. I will be out starting tomorrow. And through the 26th, through next Wednesday. But I will be available by phone and email.
Where are we going?
I'll tell you after the meeting.
Everybody heard that?
And that's all I have.
That's all you got?
Yep. Any questions for me?
Well, how about these two wet gentlemen over here?
These two gentlemen are here to talk to me about potential future engineering. They wanted to sit in on a board meeting and see how you guys operate.
I'm glad to know that now.
Now you tell
Well,
us.
they didn't walk in till he was started.
Now you tell us.
Well,
Everything we've seen so far is very positive.
oh, you're sweet. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's certainly
And all the
negative.
managers.
That's it.
Pardon?
That's all I
Oh,
have.
you have?
Yep.
Okay, then I guess we're at adjournment. Need a motion?
Make motion to adjourn.
Second the motion.
Thank you. Vote, please.